Wow, what an awesome trailer. Hey everyone, hope that you're all as hyped as I am. We all knew that a new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania was coming out yesterday, January 9th, but who would have known how exciting it would have been? We get another look into Scott's ordinary world post-Endgame, with hints of some of the new things that's going on in his life, such as dealing with Cassie being a troublemaker as we see that she is being released from holding. Having Cassie in her teenage years naturally means that we'll be seeing more of her rebellious side, which will be interesting to see how she acts in a superhero team setting. As Kang continues to narrate during the montage of moments from Act 1, we hear him say, "You've lost a lot of time like me." Kang is referring to Scott losing so many precious years with Cassie, what with him being in prison, being on house arrest, and having been stuck in the quantum realm during the 5-year time skip. It's a stretch to say that Kang is also dreading the time being away from a loved one, but I think he's just comparing himself to Scott at this moment just because they both have lost valuable time to do what they've always desired, multiverse stuff for Kang and family time with Cassie for Scott. We then get a close-up shot of Kang and a look at how his helmet works, and I've got to say it's pretty cool that the blue face shield comes on when it's being active, giving us the iconic comic book accurate look. Here's another look at Kang during his talk with Scott, which probably takes place within the first half of the movie, maybe. We also get glimpses of the types of portals Kang is using to get around his fortress. Unlike other portals that we've seen before, like the ones from the TVA, these ghostly portals show where the portal leads to, much like the portals made from the sling rings. When the MCU logo plays out, we see that it goes through multiple colors. It looks like it's going through the colors of the rainbow, which I thought it had to deal with the refraction of light, with the quantum energy and stuff. Or each color representing the main characters, such as red for Scott, purple for Cassie, green for Kang, and etc. But I could be looking into it too much, and maybe it's just a cool visual that they came up with. When we get another look at Kang's base of operations, we see that this is the same shot from the first trailer. But naturally, with digital MCU shots always changing between trailers and movie scenes, this time both the lighting and background features have changed, possibly meaning that this shot happens near the end of the movie as opposed to the halfway point earlier in the movie. During some narration by Janet Van Dyne, we see another cool close-up of Kang. Her knowledge of Kang's existence and his goals to rule the multiverse means that she must have discovered all this during her first time in the quantum realm all those years ago. We then return to this dark and trippy dimension where we start to see parallel Scotts popping up, which can still be an illusion as I thought from the first trailer, or this really is some weird circumstance where Scott really is coming face to face with a multitude of Scott copies. When we cut back to Scott, this scene is clearly after his talk with Kang, after he gives Scott the ultimatum to do his bidding in order to save Cassie and the others. Here we can see more of the portal tech, Kang's army grunts, and the first official look at MODOK and all of his big head glory. Having finally seen it, MODOK's design looks pretty good, comic accurate to a point, and something that'll give Mr. Electric a run for his money. A teary-eyed Cassie then hugs her dad as Scott's narration tells us that something bad must have happened, which is what makes a desperate Scott go along with Kang's plan. Here we see Scott has somehow gotten his copies to form an anthill of sorts, so he can reach this Kang device, which has inscriptions all around the rings in the same font as the one trippy Quantumania title card we got a while ago. From this shot we can see that Scott is aiming his wrist device at these rings with the red light, meaning he plans to shrink it in order to stop it from whatever it's doing, since we know that the red pin particle shuriken shrinks things while the blue ones enlarge it. When we catch up with Cassie and the others, she is staring at a portal that is different from the previous portal shot, and this one is more of a blue light of sorts that's blasting through a yellow vortex. Leading where? We don't know yet, but it still makes for a pretty great visual. From Cassie's expression, it looks like she might want to jump in after her dad. This shot of Scott and Hope gives us a sense of them holding each other in relief or worry, as this could be either before or after something big has happened to our heroes. A dramatic shot of Kang standing over his dominion and his armies. That kind of looks like Coruscant over there at the left. Now we'll look at Kang's army, which makes me wonder if these are all robots or actual people working for Kang. Another shot of Cassie expressing her sorrow over her decisions during this movie's story. Her saying, "This is all my fault," means that she's just expressing distress over this current situation the team has been put in, or something bad has happened to one of them. Returning to the trippy realm of whatever this is, we see the Scots running around as this giant one unravels in a creepy way. Kang's quote here, "You may not want her to watch this," is very menacing, as he is referring to something bad that is about to happen, or he's giving Scott the chance to tell Cassie to leave before Kang beats on him, which we then start to see as Scott is being tossed around. MODOK comes out to show off his battle mode, what with his angrily expressive mask and his blaster arms, as if he was straight out of a Marvel fighting game. Next up, we get a glimpse at Kang vs. Scott, and oh boy! Hope then swoops in to save Scott from being consumed by the Scott copy anthill from earlier. Back to the fight, Kang gloats over Scott and toying with him just before he continues to stomp Scott out. This is a really dope shot of Scott standing next to his broken helmet. Probably Kang's doing. Here is where Scott says such a cool and heroic line. "I don't have to win, we both just have to lose." Meaning in Scott's most desperate hour during the fight. He will attempt to do something he's confident enough will end the fight, knowing full well that the high risk will be that Scott might not make it out of this fight, but he's willing to sacrifice himself if it means that he can save his family from Kang. As the trailer begins to wrap up, we get some shots of Kang taking on the camera, as we see his face mask on during the battle. In the background, fighting his army are what seems to be those who live in the quantum realm, that perhaps Hope Van Dyne and Bill Murray's character assembled together to take on Kang's army in an attempt to defend the realm. Also, warning for those of you who have your brightness setting high, or those of you watching this in a dark room. Bam! This trailer goes out with a Kang. I mean a bang. Sorry for the big bright light and the bad joke. But yeah, other than that, it was a really cool laser effect. And with that, the trailer comes to an end. And what a crazy trailer. I know end of the world adventures, or in this case end of the universe kind of hero stories, are cliche, but I really do enjoy this trope in fiction, especially when it comes to the possible ending of a trilogy like this movie seems to be. But what do you all think? With Quantumania coming out in February, there's only a month left to be hyped for what surprises are in store for the first step into Phase 5 of the MCU. Write down your thoughts and theories in the comment section below, and feel free to drop a like on this video. I'd really appreciate it. And with that, I hope that you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Did you eat my leftovers? They were sitting in the fridge for a couple days. I thought it was my pasta! Oh! Quantumania. Yes.